guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with the next BYOP for the month. I'm here with all of my magnetic palettes as you can see, and I also have my BYOP for the month of February. And today we're going to go through this palette, talk about the shades that I had in here, as well as build my own palette for March. But before I jump into that, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. But let's just jump into the video. So first off, like I said, I'm going to go through my palette for February, and this is what it looks like. I have changed one shade in here, which is the shade right here, which is a shade that I exchanged in my Panels eyeshadows if you haven't seen that video, but this one is changed. I just put in the new shade I rolled in because it's easier to have it in this palette. But it was like golden shade before, so you can see the color story if I kind of cover this, because yeah, this is definitely the odd one out. But this is what the palette looks like, and I'm quickly just going to go through all of the shades and tell you how many times I used each one. So the whole top row right here are shades that I am panning, so I'm not going to talk about those in this video because I don't really cover those in here. I count uses on those in other projects and I go for it then. But the next one is this shade right here, which is the shade Turret. And I used this one once. I actually used the majority of these once, so let's just go through them quickly. Turret from Cleona I used once. This one is Terraverse from Terra Moons, also used one. This one right here is Colourpop Bare Minimum, and I did not use this at all, which is a bit alarming, and I've been thinking about maybe decluttering this because of that. But I haven't decided yet, but it's something to definitely note because I did not use this once in a month, even though I had it in my BYOP. Next to that we have the shade Spectrum from Pastel Roses. It's a beautiful shade. You can see like the orangey kind of gold shift, but it has a pink base and it's absolutely stunning. I used that one once as well. I used Terra Moons Utopia once. I used Cleona Glisten 5 times, so that is another one that I use a bit more. Actually the only one I used more than once. And then here we have Cleona Spotlight, which I also used once. The last shade here is another one that I'm panning, so I'm not going to go through that, but that is what the palette looks like, and that is how I used all the shades. I would ideally want to use all of the shades more than once in a month, but I have said this in other videos, but I did get COVID and I lost about a week of makeup wear in the month of February, and February in general is a shorter month, so I didn't reach for these as much as I wanted. And when I did wear eyeshadows, especially towards the end of the month, when I was kind of, you know, after I recovered from having COVID, I really needed to focus on the eyeshadows that I had in projects in order to pan on them. So yeah, because of that I did not focus on these eyeshadows very much, and not as much as I wanted, but that's okay. I used all of the shades once apart from Bare Minimum, so it's still good I guess. But that is the palette from last month, so let me use to remove all of the shades and I will start fresh with a new palette. So now we have a clean fresh palette and a fresh start to go off. I'm going to start by putting the shades in that need to go back in. This one, like I said, I just rolled into my Panels eyeshadow, so this one needs to go back in. And same with this one here, is also not eyeshadow in my Panels eyeshadows, which is this one here, which is Weld from Cleona, so that one is also going back in. For now that's actually going to be it. Not because I necessarily hit gold on all of the other shades, but I'm going to put these two back in their own palette, which is the shade, I can't remember what shade it is, but this one is from the Golden Coconuts palette and this one is from the Natasha Denona Gold palette. So yeah, those two are going back in, and then yes, this one I am taking out. So those are all staying out, so that means I'm starting with these two shades right here. So I just had to adjust the angle a bit because yeah, it was really difficult to reach over here, because I'm sitting on the other side of the table, so it was really difficult to reach. But I hope this is a better angle. If it's not, I'm going to try to figure out for next month. I am still figuring out the setting here to film, but hopefully this works. But yeah, this is my palette so far. We have two shades, which is this blue, which is actually both these are in my Panels eyeshadows, but yeah, these two are the only two that are staying that aren't from my BYOP. But I'm gonna actually scooch these palettes to the side, and then I'm gonna put this little one right here so we can build with it. And yeah, just add things into the palette. So let's start with one palette first. I want to start with these palettes right here, which are my Cleona Magnet palette. The first one right here contains my Terra Moons eyeshadows, and I'm gonna actually also put back eyeshadows that belong here that I've taken out. So these two pinks from last month can go back in. So there is a few things that I want to add from here to add into my palette, because I want to play around with this blue. And I think one thing that I really want to add in is this one right here, because I think they will go beautifully together. And this one is called Moontide, and it's again from Terra Moons. It's a blue to purple shift that I think is going to go really well to add into my palette. So this one is going to go in with the other ones. Another beautiful blue that I want to add in is this one right here. I think I'm gonna add a few blue this month, but this one, it looks purple pink to you, I think, but it is a beautiful shifting shade. You can see the blue base right there. This one is in the shade the Cosmos, again from Terra Moons, and I just really want to play around with this more, and it's a perfect springtime shade. So I think that is gonna be it for this palette. I don't think I want to add anything else in really. Oh, I just actually thought, I was thinking about playing around with some more greens this month because of St. Patrick's Day. I wanted to do a green, blue and pink palette, I think. So maybe I do want to add in a blue. Maybe I shouldn't add Cosmos in this month because I don't know. This is going to go as a maybe because I'm not sure if I want to add it in this month or if I want to save it for another month. But that's going to be a maybe. One shade that I do want to play with though is going to either be this one or this one. I just want to swatch them out really quickly on my fingers. So you can't really see these very easily. One is very kind of much more green and the other one is a bit more muted. But yeah, they shift a lot and I don't know which one to add in. The first one I'm thinking about right here is the shade Space Case, and the other one is the shade Gamma Ray. I think the one I do want to add in is Space Case because that is a newer shade, and I think this might also go with the blue because it does have a blue shift in it. I don't know if you can pick that up, but it does have a blue shift. I don't think you can see that, but yeah, this one is the one I'm going to add in as like my blue-green shift from here. And I think with that I am now done with this palette, so I'm going to put this away. So let's move on to the next Cleona palette right here, and this one contains my actual Cleona eyeshadows, and we're going to put some eyeshadows back in here. The first one we're going to put back in is the shade Spotlight, which I had in last month. That one is this one right here. And secondly, I think that's it for this palette actually. Yeah, it is. And I don't think I actually want to add in anything from this palette because I have a few ideas of what I want to add in from Cleona, and these are not it. So yeah, I'm gonna not add in anything from this palette right now. I do want to focus in on some other palettes. So these ones are not going in my palette this month. However, in this palette, I think I'm gonna add in some things because there's a few things in here that I want to add in. Let's start with, because I do want to add in some of these vibrant monochromes, and that's why I wanted to wait. So I think what I want to start by doing is adding in like a blue or green. I really want to add in this blue right here because I think it's going to go beautifully with this one. So I think that's what I'm going to start with. So these are always so difficult to get out because they're like a bit of a maze to get out. Actually, you know what I've realized? I think I want to add in this shade right here instead of this one. So this is the shade, I think this is Lineage and this is Crown Jewel, I believe, and I want to add in this one instead because I think it has the same base color as this blue one I'm working on, and it also has a pink shift to go with those pink tones that I also want to add in. So yeah, this is the one I'm going to add, and let's see what shade that is. It is Lineage, like I said. This is what it looks like, so it has that kind of blue base with a pink shimmer. So this is the next eyeshadow, and because of that I don't actually think I'm going to add in any more greens or anything, because I was thinking about adding in this one, but I also feel like I have greens that I'm working on from Jaded Glow, which are these down here. So I was thinking about adding in this green right here, but I have this green, for example, and I think it might be a bit overkill. So I'm going to leave that for now, and I'm just going to put back what goes in this palette. However, I just realized as well, I do want to add in some iridescent shades though, because that's definitely something that I can work on. So I do want to add in like a greenish blue or something. So let's see which one I do want to go with. Okay, that's actually an easy one to get because this one right here is like a green to blue. We're just gonna see it like on mainly white, but this is a beautiful one and it does shift, and I think this is gonna be perfect pairing. So this is one of the ones that I'm gonna pick as like an inner corner shade. So this one can go in, and with that I have 3 Cleona shades now. Do I want to stop? Do I want to add in another one? I feel like maybe I should add in another iridescent shade just to have some variety, but I'm not sure which one it would be, and I also feel like I need to go a bit more pink. Maybe I should add a pink iridescent. Maybe this one right here. Yeah, that's like a pink to blue, so that would actually be perfect. So I think I'm going to go with this one if I can get it out, which is in the shade Glimmer, which again is just going to look white, but that is the next one I'm going to add in. And with that, this palette is definitely finished, so I'm going to put in the shades that I had it out last month and just, yeah, take it from there. So these ones are going back in, and yeah, that is this palette done. So quickly, this palette right here, I don't think I'm going to add anything in. I was thinking maybe actually like a pinky matte. Do I need a pinky matte? Not from here, I don't think I want to add anything from here, but I do want to put back bare minimum because that goes right here, if I can get it back in the palette. There we go, that is back in now, so that I'm not going to get anything for this palette this month, not really anything that tickles my fancy, so this one is going to go away as well. We also have this palette right here, which has some more kind of green tones in it, and I think I might add something in from here just for the greens. Because yeah, just something fun. One green that really springs to mind is this one right here. I haven't really worn this much, but I really like it. This one is the shade Mary Jane from the Colourpop, what is it called? The Just My Luck palette. So this one I think I'm going to put in, or at least put in as a maybe for now, because that one is one that I do kind of want to add in. But I think, is that going to be it for this palette? Maybe I'm actually going to add in this green here as well, which is like a deep green, but this is the shade Mobamba. I'm going to put this in a maybe as well. It all depends on how much I have at the end, how much space I have at the end, but yeah, that is going to be the next one, and that is this palette done. Again, a really quick palette is this one right here. This is too neutral for what I want this month, so this one is finished already, and nothing from this palette. So we now have my 2 Cindy Grace palettes left, and let's just open them both up actually, just so you can see them. We have my pinks right there, and then we have my green one, or like my green blue one right here. So with these I'm definitely going to add in some eyeshadows, but before I take anything from this palette I'm going to add what I am missing in. So we have this shade right here which goes there I believe, and yeah, that is that shade. But like I said, I want to add in some more eyeshadows from this palette, from these palettes. And I do want to add in some pinks because I haven't actually added in any pinks yet. And I'm realizing that I'm not owning as many pinks as I thought I would. So my camera overheated, so I don't know if I missed anything, but I added in this pink right here because I'm really feeling that. And then I was thinking about like what greens to add in. I feel like I need a green matte, like a transition shade matte, because I don't have that in my palette or any in the palettes that I'm panning at the moment, I think. So that's something that I want to add in, and my heart is going towards these 2 greens right here, but this one is a bit more neutral and I think that's a bit more flexible, so I'm pretty sure that's the one I want to add in. So I'm going to go with this one, which I believe is a Sydney Grey shade, and this was in the shade Green Anjou, which yeah, is going to be the one that I'm going for, so that is going to be the next shade. And with that in the palette, I've decided to also add in this green right here, because I think that is going to be a really pretty one if I can fit it right here. I thought I would be able to fit it. I think that should be fine. I might have to rearrange. And then also this deep green, and then I have like that kind of trio greens that I can do a good look with. I can also incorporate this one, which is a green. This one has a green shift, so that one would also work with them. But yeah, I think that's going to be a good kind of place to be. But to make my blue, green and pink palette, I need one more pink. And I was umming and ahhing because I was sitting here waiting for my camera to cool down. I was thinking, what pink do I want to add in? Obviously we're now done with this blue and purple palette because there's nothing really in here that I want to add in. So this one can go and close. But with the pinks that I have left, what do I want to add in? And I thought I would actually be a bit adventurous this time and adding a pressed glitter. And the pressed glitter that's speaking to me is this one right here, which is like obviously a Colourpop one. Most of my pressed glitters are from Colourpop. And this one is in the shade Overpacked, which looks like this. And I think this will be a good one to tie in. And it's going to be something different than what I have in my BYOPs before. And I do use pressed glitters every now and then. So I think this is the one I want to add in. And it can go with like more neutral looks with a pop of like glitter. But it will also go with some more colourful looks. So that's going to be the last shade. And with that, I have my palette. This one here did not fit in, so I'm going to put that back in a second. But yeah, we have my finished palette. I will rearrange it and I will show you the final product in a second. So I have now rearranged my palette and this is what it looks like. I'm really happy with it. It's not exactly what I pictured, but I think it's going to be a really good one to play with for March, because obviously I want those greens, but I also wanted some colors to tie in with that blue, and then obviously I fit in whatever pink I could. Not as much pink as I wanted, but I also had I realized I had a really pink month last month, so I'm pretty happy with the color story that I got. And some of these are really shifty shades. I don't know how much you can pick up on camera, but they're absolutely stunning. And yeah, I think it's going to be really nice to play around with this. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch this out for you so you can see what the full color story is. And yeah, I will wrap up this video. My palette for March and the swatches. I'm really happy with it. It's a bit of a weird mix of color. It's a weird kind of combination of like how they laid out, but I really like it. It's a bit odd, but it's also very inspiring to me, and it's nice because I haven't been very inspired with my makeup recently. I haven't been doing super bold looks. I've been stuck in panning, and I just haven't been very inspired. So I think this is going to be a really good way to be more inspired, to mix different colors that maybe aren't super obvious to mix together. And yeah, it's just a really nice colorful palette in my opinion, and I think I could do things with like the pink and this kind of purpley blue right here, and maybe with the pink glitter. I can also use this blue with like this blue or this purple again. This in a corner shade would obviously go with either of those. Then we have some more greens to work on. I can maybe do a fun look with this pink and this duochrome, because although I think on camera it actually looks more pink than it does to me sitting here, because it more looks green to me. Or I can obviously do something blue and green together, and yeah, I think this is going to be a really good fun color palette to work with, and I'm really excited with this palette. So that is it for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and otherwise I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys.